Good morning, welcome to a morning review on Tuesday the 14th of April. This is Kim Watson speaking for Easy Trader. So looking at the euro dollar first, and currently we're selling off here looking towards yesterday's lows at this juncture. Now overall I'd like to see us, this is a good possibility we'd come down to the March lows there at around about 104.702. Now before we get there, I was looking at this yesterday, and there's a reasonable chance that we could find some support from there's quite a lot of buy orders sitting. This is one broker, but just to give you a feeling what's probably sitting under there, the 1.05, which obviously is a psychological number, is a key number that people will be looking at. Sitting a huge amount of buy orders sitting there and just before it, so we may not have an easy route down. However, this is one broker. There's a lot of shorts there that are possibly looking to be closed off at those sort of levels. So the targets maybe just people thinking that's a buy area, so we may see some buying support coming in at 1.5, so it's something to watch out for. But if it breaks that sort of level, as I say, yes, the March lows certainly seem to be a reasonable possibility. At the moment, we're heading off certainly down towards yesterday's lows there, and the daily S1 is certainly a reasonable target at this juncture. It's already had the benefit of the daily pivot. Now, a bounce off these levels may at some point, and the S1 may give us some upside at some point, but to be fair, in this market I'd rather be selling. Looking at the pound dollar, now the pound's had a little bit of a steadier time, I think is the term. Yesterday managed to put in a bit of a reversal candle, and well, there is the possibility it could push up some more, but in the short time, when I start running down the short time, yes, it's looking like it's got some potential maybe to have a bounce off the moving averages here. It's back onto this trend line that's now is sitting on this trend line. But a break of that trend line gives us the daily pivot, which has got a high probability of being hit below. Also, maybe the 50 still, the hourly 50 still facing south, but well, we'll see how we run on this. If it starts breaking above the Asian session highs there, maybe it will run up towards the R1 and the weekly pivot sort of area. But at this stage, I'd rather be watching it. I would rather see that daily pivot cleared first. If that is cleared, well, depending on the momentum around here, we could end up coming down towards the S1, although my view on cable, looking at it, how it traded most of yesterday morning, is we could just see quite a bit of chop. We do have news coming out at 9:30. We've got the UK CPI, the inflation figures are very key these days. The inflation figures, that said, last time we only saw about a 20 pip move, but they're still pretty key as interest rates are being discussed, and if they're coming significantly lower, we could certainly see the pound selling off. Obviously, if they come in higher, it gives the Bank of England the opportunity to rattle its sabres again, and maybe it will see a decent rally. But for now, I'm erring towards, if we see the break, I'd like to see the daily pivot out the way, and then maybe if it breaks through that sort of region, we could come down certainly down towards the S1 in yesterday's lows. Still largely towards a downward trend, and when you look at the bigger picture, it certainly is. I mean, it's just pipped to yesterday's highs at the moment, but it hasn't confirmed. It really hasn't confirmed any higher highs. It's put a lower lows in, but it hasn't really broken the prior high here yet. So I've got a bit of work to do if it's going to be a bit more bullish. Okay, looking at dollar yen, and at the moment selling off quite a bit, back down to the 50. It's very choppy again on the dailies, and we made some okay money out of this yesterday in the morning, but it's not something I often trade. However, we have got this, looking from an hourly perspective, we have got this trend line that's running down here. I prefer the upside to be on the long side of the dollar yen, mostly, and even in this chop there is the possibility it could come back towards its daily pivot and the 50 MA there. So perhaps if it starts rallying, maybe a break of the trend line, and just ensuring everything is in our way, in our order, in the right order. Sorry, I would be looking for that, as I say, daily pivot as a target. Okay, that's the dollar yen, and I'll finish off with the Aussie dollar. Now this is looking weak again this morning. It's a big sell-off day yesterday when they mentioned the price of war, which is going to significantly reduce income. Now looking at where we are now, we're back into that sort of order zone. If I put the levels across the bottom here, and we're sort of sitting there, and we're just breaking back into this zone here, where we've been finding support coming in so frequently. Now, as I've said many a time, the 0.75 area was a sort of an expected sort of level for the Aussie to get back down to, and it may be going on this occasion. It's looking weak. It's just whether or not it continues in this vein. At the moment, I've just popped a trend across the lows here. I'm just looking to see if we get a break of this. Then maybe we'll be looking at yesterday's lows and the daily S1 there. So it's a reasonably decent range here, potentially. So as I say, yesterday's lows, the S1, maybe if we see a break and a solid sell-off coming through here. Okay, that's it for me. There's there is some other news. At 1:30 we got the US core retail sales. Now we did see about 58 pips around this news last time, so there is a chance that we could see some volatility around that. Certainly some decent volatility, and then we've got PPI coming out at the same time. Now that moved a lot less. It's only moved to 17 pips. It's slightly less significant than the retail sales. Retail sales will certainly be the prime mover there, and the headline figure. Okay, that's it for me. Hope you have a great one. Bye for now.